Welcome back to Thruxton after the second Bennetts British Superbike Championship race of the weekend, and back on the podium for McCann's Racing Yamaha is Danny Kent. Danny, for you, after the disappointment of yesterday when you were in the fight for the podium, it must feel good to be back inside the top three. And equally, the short race we always knew was going to be tough, but the different variables in that one made it even tougher as a 5-lap race in the end. Talk us through it, please.
Yeah, like you said, with the run of bad luck we've had recently, it's always nice to come back with a podium. Not entirely happy with the race, when someone starts 16th on the grid and then wins a race, it means that we're doing something wrong or we're a bit too slow. So, like I said, happy to be on the podium, but still more work for me to do myself. It threw a different curveball in the race, just with it being a 10-lap stint, with the safety car and with it being red flagged. It meant that a lot of riders could push for a lot longer, not have to save tyres as much. This afternoon's race will be a bit like yesterday's race. You have to be a lot more strategic, and like I said earlier in the weekend, I feel really good with the bike. The team have gave me a mega bike, so I have strong pace. It's just putting yourself in the right position at the right time.
Thank you, Danny.
Thank you.
And securing his first ever Bennetts British Superbike Championship podium for Completely Motorbikes Kawasaki is Max Cook. Max, incredible performance from you. First time on the podium. You led for part of that restarted race. It wasn't until the end where Ryan was finally able to take the advantage from you. Talk us through and what was going through your mind, please.
Yeah, so I was really excited, starting on pole for the first time as well. I just knew I could get away at the front, and with a short race on soft tyres, I just knew I could just keep going. And I was surprised that I led it for that long actually. I had made a bit of a mistake on the second to last lap. I wasn't getting too giddy, but I was starting to push on, and I could tell that I wasn't actually bridging the gap. I felt comfortable leading. I've led a race here last year. I led it as well in the year before and stopped 600 from start to finish. So I did feel totally comfortable, but I did make a mistake going into the complex on the second to last lap, and luckily only Ryan got past me. I did think that I would have dropped back a bit further, to be honest. So I don't feel like the win was taken away from me at all. I'm just really grateful just to actually get my first podium. It's been 18 months of such hard work and adapting my riding, learning the craft, and now to be stood up on the podium is I can't believe it, to be honest. Unbelievable.
And going towards this afternoon's race, longer race again, how did you find yesterday's longer race, and what would you have learned from yesterday that you can put into practice this afternoon?
Yeah, yesterday I was a bit deep in the pack, but I saved my tyres for too long. I actually found that I could have pulled the pin a bit earlier. So now on the next race, it's a totally different style riding because you're not going all out. But yeah, I just want to say a massive thank you to my team, Completely Motorbikes Kawasaki, for believing in me and obviously taking me on, taking the risk to have me, and to pay them back with this first podium. I'm sure it'll be the first of many together, but the first one out of the way is a huge relief for me, to be honest.
Congratulations, Max.
Thank you.
Back on the top step of the podium for Gorilla OMG Racing Yamaha, it's Ryan Vickers. Ryan, that was a tough race. You had quite a deep position in the back of the grid on the start. The race was red flagged, restarted, safety car. There was a lot going on, and in the end it was down to pretty much a 5-lap sprint to the checkered flag. And it looked like there was no time to actually really have a strategy in that situation. Talk us through it and how you managed to achieve the win, please.
Yeah, it's difficult. I think the strategy would have been a bit more simple with a 12-lap sprint. A couple more laps in that sort of situation is quite a lot. But, I'm not glad because obviously Glenn crashed and it got red flagged for that reason. But I'm actually glad I had another bite of the cherry, really, because I didn't get a good start in the first start. And then the restart, I got a really good start and managed to get in front of like Tommy and stuff like that and then push my way forward. So yeah, I was really happy with the second race, how it got going, and I just wasn't aggressive enough in the first start. And then the second race, I changed that. I was really aggressive. I got forward, I made passes, and then the safety car came out, and I knew that I just had to go forward. I learned in the first race, as soon as you don't overtake someone passes you. And then like Lewis was in front of me, and I managed to pass him into the left of the complex, which I pretty much did everyone there, which was it's quite an easy place for me to pass. On the Yamaha, I was able to run a lot more corner speed through the right and then just block them off on the left. So, yeah, that was really good. I'm glad that I found a few places to overtake. And once I did, I just stuck to those two places. So one was the left of the first complex, and then the other was at the end of the back straight. I was getting a really good run out of Church, and I was strong on the brakes. So, yeah, there was some hairy moves, I could tell you that. There was a few moments in my helmet where I was like, oh, I don't know if I'm going to stop here. And there's three people around me, and I'm blocked in on the inside. I was just hoping that They didn't come in the inside and block me off and put me on the grass. And yeah, I managed to go up the inside of 3 people into the last corner, I think, 1 lap. So yeah, it was pretty hairy, but every move was clean. Yeah, calculated, was really happy. Team gave me an incredible bike. And I really do believe that we was in Q1. Obviously, everybody see him probably thought, oh, what's he doing, you know? But we decided to use the 0 in the end of FP1 and actually do like a race run on it for this situation. Nobody else has this weekend. They put it in at the end of FP2 and did like a time attack basically, and that's why I dropped outside of the top 12. So I really do feel like, you know, thanks to the team, they had to keep me calm. I was a bit annoyed not being in Q2, but we made the situation work, and I really feel like we've benefited out of that race for doing so.
And were there any points in that race where you felt like the laps were ticking down way quicker than you were expecting, as in you were starting to panic maybe that you wouldn't be in that push for the podium?
Well, to be fair, I didn't look at the laps until my last lap until I crossed the line where it said 1 lap to go, and I thought, brilliant. I know my pace was really good. I was looking at my lap times, you know, low 15s, and I would have been impressed if the guys would have been able to keep it up, knowing how they were riding. You know, before I passed them, I could see they were starting to struggle already. So I believe I was probably about half a second quicker at one point. So I knew that I would maybe open up a gap, so I just focused, just hit my marks, tried not to take the mick out of the tyre really, and then the last lap just let it have it for a lap. And you know, Thruxton's the most enjoyable place when you can ride like that, because yeah, spinning a 240 horsepower superbike with no traction on a not so grippy tyre is pretty good fun. So yeah, really happy. You know, what a race, 16th to 1st in 10 laps. Wow. Didn't think that was possible, but yeah, team gave me an amazing bike and thoroughly enjoyed it.
And obviously the last race of the day will be the longer race, a bit like yesterday. Is there anything you can learn from yesterday's race that you can put into practice for the final one today? Because obviously Kyle had this slight advantage over you yesterday. Yeah,
for sure. I mean, to be honest, I think the last 3 laps I actually had the best bike. You know, grip-wise, I was able to catch the group quite easily, and that's why I came from like 10th and made my way all the way back up to 1st at one point briefly. Difficult. We'll see. I think the temperature is going to play a big part. Yesterday was quite a lot cooler. You know, track temperature is going to probably be nearly 50 degrees, and around here, it's going to make a huge difference to the tyre life. So, yeah, I don't think I'll do a lot different, but I just believe the advantage at the end might be greater. Let's see.
Congratulations on the win.
Thank you. Cheers, guys.